So this is for ES6 too. So we're continuing on this. I did this as fast as I could so that I would have more time to talk. So you're going to see me pausing things as we go along. All right. So let's look at some code. We are destructuring an array. So meaning we've already had an array. We've already been using it, and we want to kind of get rid of some things. We want to change things around. In this particular case, we have created a temporary variable or array that we've given the name R, like a pirate, right? And inside that array, we're containing the values a string of 1, a string of 2, and a string of 3, right? Now, when it's written like this, equal to this variable, what's happening is we're now renaming the index. So you know how I said that computers start counting by 0? Without this sentence, if I were to say R square bracket 0, it's going to return me back that string of 1. Well, instead of having our index be labeled 0 or 1, we can name it. So what we're doing here is we are taking that index in the 0th location and we're giving it a name of 1. So if we call on 1, it's going to look for that index location instead of 0. It's going to say, hey, I want to look for the name called 1. What's in it? Oh, this 1? Okay, that's what I'm going to return. And that's what's going here. Now, I know that these are getting a little bit more complicated as we go. I'm not expecting you guys to know it or get it or grasp it. It takes a while. It takes a long time. I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. This is even more, I think that this went even beyond like high school. So like I didn't expect this to kind of go this far, but either way, I'm still giving you the answers and it's a good review, right? So here we have created, this is like our short syntax or shorthand for creating a new function, right? So we're saying, hey, we have this, it's a function, we're calling this A, we are going to return back the values 1, 3, and 2. Now, we're saying, hey, let that 0th location be called 1, this is not going to have a name, and this one's going to be called 2. So what the index location for this one is named 1, the index location for this is what is by default, which is the number 1, and then 2 is going to say 2. Now, if you really want to take the time to like dissect this code, you can. There is this try it yourself thing over here, and you can actually play around with the code. I just found that out. I'm sure you guys already probably played around with it up until this point. So we hit continue. All right, so we're looking for the output of this code. Right? We have an array called names. It's going to contain the values of John in the 0th location, Fred in the 1st location, and Anne in the 3rd location. All right, I want to rename those index locations, so I'm going to rename 0, the number 0 to have the name Anne, the index 1 to have the name Fred, and the index 2 to have the name John. We want to return John. So we're saying, hey, where's John's index location? It's pointing here, and the value held inside of it is Anne. So you're going to see that my second go around, I'm like, what? I didn't get this wrong. And then I'm looking at it, because the next one is like this is an error. All right. So again, we're destructuring. Again, these are just like syntax. You're probably not going to use this unless you are like one of the higher level developers. You have plenty of time to still learn it, so do not stress. The output for the following code, this is an error. I actually want to talk about this. So we're saying, hey, this is a constant, meaning we can't change it. This is the name called object. We're going to name our index location 1, and it has the value of the number 1. We're going to name our index location 2, and it has the value 2. The reason why is because it has this colon here. If it didn't have the colon, then it would just be the simple, number 1, number 2. So when now we're saying, hey, let 1 have the value of first. Well, what's that first rule right here of a constant? It can't be changed. We're trying to change this. We can't. So it's going to be an error. I'll turn off that. All right. Rest and spread. So these are additional methods that you have available that's built into JavaScript. ES6 says, hey, you can use these built-in methods. They already have properties. Somebody's already did the hard work. Don't worry about it. You can call on it, and this is how it works. We've accepted it as gospel at this point, right? Like it's canon. So we're going to, all right. We have a function. We've named it contains all. We're passing an array. We're going through a for loop. Now please note that we're doing an object called arguments.length. And what this is our temporary variable. X has this value. And then we're console.logging X. And so this is like kind of taking all this value and continuing it here. And then when we pass it to here, it contains 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 7. And then ask, hey, what's that length? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to return back 7. So, hey, is 1 less than 7? Yes. Okay. Well, we're going to say that arguments is at that K location, which is going to be 1. And then we want to return back that. It gets more complicated. Again, this is more syntax, so I kind of want to just take a moment to kind of explain what was going on with the code. I'm not expecting this to have the light bulb go off. It took me a long time to get this. I would say outside of variables, getting how objects work is probably the next hardest. All right, we want to see what the output of this is. I'm actually going to wait for past me to catch up. We have a function called magic. It's going to take it with these 3 dots. That means, hey, we have a bunch of numbers that we're going to be taking in. And I want you to treat it as an addition. So now we're going to say, okay, and that's going to be right, but we're going to see why. So our main portion of our code is here. We're going to console.log our function magic, and we're passing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? We want this to go in here. We have a variable called sum that has initial value of 0. We are going to take this nums, so all that's in here, right? So think of it as just saying, hey, we have more than one value. So we're passing a variable with more than one value. That's what that's saying. Now I want you to filter. I want you to say, hey, if in mod 2, now remember mod returns back the remainder, so it does a division. So it's going to take that first number 1 and divide it by 2. Is that equal to 0? No. Okay. Well then I want you to add 1. And then I want you to return this. We're returning 1 to our sum here. But in this particular case, we want to find something that's not divisible by 2, or is divisible by 2. So we're going to take this 2 and we're going to add it to sum. 3 is not divisible by 0. We're going to take this 4 and add it to sum, so we're at 6. This is not divisible by 0, but this is, so that's 12. So it's adding them all in here. They're making it a lot more complicated than it has to be. I think just to make sure you're really learning it. I just want to make sure. I think they always throw these things in there just to try and make it difficult to make your head hurt. I actually sat back and had to make sure that I was reading these right before I made these videos, so I didn't wing it like I normally do. All right, what's the output of the following code? So we are console.logging all. We're passing 3, right? So let's go here to all. All has the values of 1, 2, and whatever's in nums, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have 6 here, right? So we want to know what's in that third index location. So we're going to all. All has here would be our 0th location. This is our first location. Because it's taking these nums, this is now our third location, and this is our fourth location. So, but again, we're looking for 3 and it starts at 0. So 0, 1,